Life's nothing but the journey you take. How I came out here. Originally came, beginning of being homeless, I lost my kids.
How old?
I lost my kids about 5 years ago. I was 21. I'm now just turned 25. When I lost them, I went on a downward spiral. Before then, I hadn't done anything but touch weed. After that, I went insane for a while. Still am. But got hooked on drugs really bad. I met my husband after I came back from Ohio. Sorry. Sorry, I don't like cameras.
No, take your time.
But I'd say Ohio is my favorite place out of everywhere, being homeless.
Ohio?
Yeah.
Why?
The people. Place is shitty, but the people are amazing. They help you out whenever you can, but like here, it's cutthroat.
Really?
It's all for one and one for all.
How long have you been here?
Going on 3 years, minus about 6 months. Me and my husband were headed to Florida, and our bus was late for the transfer, so we didn't have the money for another ticket. We got stuck here. We were clean at the time, just about 9 months clean. Got hooked back on it out here, and it's where we ended up splitting about 2 years ago.
You said how long?
2 years.
2 years?
He's back in North Carolina. I'm still stuck here. But
So you've been on the streets for about 5 years?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a really hard hole to dig out of. Not just being homeless, because when you're homeless out here, people don't like to help you. You like to think they do, but you're either invisible or looked at like a disease.
How's that feel when people just look over you?
It's heartbreaking. It really takes a wear on you after a while. I'm only 25. I can only imagine how old I look right now. I'm reaching a point now where I'm tired. You know, it's stressful being out here. Always having to keep one eye open. You never know who's coming through or what's gonna happen next. I've seen people get shot, seen people get stabbed out here for $10. Especially being female out here, it's hard.
Yeah. How many girls versus guys?
Maybe 2 out of 10.
Yeah.
Every girl out here that I know of, minus 1 or 2, stick to tricking or something like that.
To what?
Tricking, selling their bodies.
Yeah.
You know, because it's the easiest way for them to make money. The men too.
What, the guys trick?
Mm-hmm.
For other guys?
Yeah.
Really?
It's actually rampant here in Atlanta.
I've heard a bit about that.
Yeah.
How much is it for a guy trick?
I'm not exactly positive. I don't really know what the going rate out here is. I know in Ohio there's some girls that would do everything for $10.
Really?
Yeah. I worked at a strip club back in the day. I wouldn't take my top off for less than 100.
Yeah.
Like, it blows my mind. I don't knock them for it. I understand.
How long did you work at the strip club?
About 6 months.
How was that?
I didn't exactly enjoy it, but it was good money.
Yeah.
It had good security, so I was safe. It was one thing I had to have to work at a place like that.
Well, where'd the security come from? From the club?
Mhm. Yeah. The bouncer would stay in the back room during the dance and wait until all the customers are gone and walk you out to the car.
Huh.
Because you'd be amazed at sometimes you get some crazies that come through. I'll stalk you all the way back to your house.
Really? When you were at the strip club, were you living on the streets?
No, I was staying at my sister's house,
Okay.
so I didn't have to worry about that. But
You want me to ask you some questions?
yeah.
Would that be easier?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, I kind of have like a laundry list of questions, so
Okay.
if one resonates with you, we'll kind of just dig deeper. Who's the most interesting person you've met on the streets? Or someone that just you remember really for any reason?
There's not really any particular one, because everybody has a very unique story out here. We all come from different places, different backgrounds, been through completely different things. And everybody I meet gives me new insight.
What's your strongest memory in the past 10 years?
Being free.
Being what?
Being free. And I say that my husband was extremely abusive. And when I left him, it is a newfound security, but one that was fleeting and went away very quick.
What was it replaced by? What was it replaced by?
Fear. You no longer have that stronghold beside you. And being out here, don't know where you're going. It has you stuck in one place, if you know what I mean.
Who's the meanest person you met out here?
I'd have to say my old friend Brian.
Brian?
Yeah. And he's a mean old snake. He has a good heart though, but
What made Brian so mean?
he's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a little thing, he can do a complete 360 on you.
Yeah. What'd you see him do?
He accused me of stealing some shit from him, and that wasn't pretty. It could have gotten violent very quickly.
Did he do anything to you?
No. I think it was mostly for show.
Yeah.
And scare me, but I still wouldn't want to fuck with him.
Are you talking about the Brian that lives under the bridge? Yeah, I know him.
He's a good guy though.
Yeah, he is a little all over the map though. Well, what are some tricks you've learned living out here?
Just
to survive.
Try to stay off the street. Stay out here.
Like the more rural areas?
Well, for me it's a little bit easier out here than it is in the city. I grew up in North Carolina, so being in the woods, that's just life.
Yeah.
For someone from the city, well, like when me and my husband first came to Atlanta, we found ourselves at Lost and Found. It's a LGBT day shelter. They also have a thrift store on Cheshire, but some of the kids didn't want to go to the shelters, so me and my husband actually, when everybody was staying out here, would take them out here and taught them how to make a fire, insulate their tent and all that, because they didn't know square one. Most of them first coming down here, are we really going all the way into these woods? We had to sleep on what? Yeah. That was fun.
How long did you guys do that?
About 6 months before everybody was run out of Fulton.
Why'd everyone leave?
There were a lot of fires and a lot of trouble, so police just came down and got everybody out. That's going on a lot recently. Anywhere you try to set up camp, they run you off. They might tolerate you for a little while, but they'll take your tent, threaten to arrest you. It's because urban camping is illegal. Basically, it's illegal to be homeless. I know in South Carolina, if you're walking somewhere and they stop you and you don't have a destination, you will be arrested.
Really?
Yeah. Because it's illegal to be homeless. So they'll give you somewhere to stay.
Have you been arrested just for walking around?
No, luckily. But the cops watch you out here. It's a good thing and a bad thing. Sometimes you want to be under the radar, but they got you when you need them. I was getting real skinny there for a while. And, one officer, Officer Baker, every time he would see me, he'd get me food.
Really?
Yeah. There's another officer that's in town, I don't remember his name, but him and his wife would come out and pass out hygiene supplies, food. Cops a lot of them are good out here.
Why were you getting skinny? Was it?
Severe depression, drugs.
Yeah. Hey, man. Yeah. What's going on? Good to see you, man. Yeah, we're just finishing up an interview. What experience do you have with shelters?
I've only been to 2 shelters in my life. The first one was in North Carolina, in the country. It wasn't bad, but it had almost no resources. Been to the Salvation Army here. I'll never go back.
Why?
I don't know if they've changed it since I've been, because there was somebody looking into it, but when you would go in, they would literally take your best clothes and put them in their store, leave you with the ratty ones, and they were having bug issues. They were having most of their toilets and showers didn't work.
Wow.
The men had to shower together, like in a prison setting. It was not good at all, and a lot of the women were being sexually harassed by the guards and the people that were trying to help them.
Were you?
No, I didn't stay there long enough.
Yeah, you got out of there?
Yeah. I decided out here was better than being in there.
How have the streets changed since you've been out here?
They've gotten a lot harder.
Harder?
Mm-hmm. When I came out here to begin with, people were a lot more willing to help. I'm not quite sure what's changed, but the stigma has definitely gotten a lot worse for the homeless out here. But I think that has a lot to do with just people taking advantage of the system. Not necessarily trying to do better for themselves, but just using the money and, being out here.
How do you interact with non-homeless people? Like, how do you view them, and how do you feel like they view you and stuff?
More times than not, I feel almost beneath them. Because I am on drugs, I'm homeless out here, and I'm sick, and a lot of people don't really understand that. They're like, well, why don't you stop? Why don't you just get clean? It's not that easy. Being out here, getting high is pretty much how you deal with being homeless. It's the one thing every homeless person has in common. We are all mental health in one way or another. I've been mental health since I was a child. I grew up with sexual abuse and but it's hard to keep a job, especially when you have gaps in your work history, and they don't like hearing, oh, I had nowhere to go, I was on the street, I had to hustle every day, I couldn't do this or that. They don't like to hear that. They would rather just go to somebody that has a good line instead of take the risk.
Yeah.
Uh,
How'd you get from Ohio here? Did you drive or? How do you travel?
Megabus.
Megabus?
Mhm.
Okay.
I've been in a few different states, North Carolina, South Carolina, Pennsylvania, Ohio. I'm originally from California. But I moved from there when I was fairly young. So, a little bit of travel in me.
You ever ride trains?
No,
No.
not that brave. It seems easy until you're standing beside one that's moving.
The one that comes through here goes really fast.
Yeah.
How do you make money?
I fly a sign.
Yeah. What's that like? What's the best place to fly a sign?
Right now, Brookhaven.
Yeah.
Cheshire will arrest you almost as soon as you step foot
Really?
out there. There was somebody yesterday that he didn't even pull his sign out yet. And cop put on his sirens, gave him a ticket. I didn't even get to pull it out yet. Yeah, you step your foot onto that median, you're done.
Do you talk to your family at all?
I don't. I should. My dad, anyway. He's really the only family I have. My dad and my brother. But my dad's been clean off of meth for 24 years.
Wow.
And I don't want to take that back home. You know, I'm on the same thing, doing a little bit worse than he did. And I know he always used to talk to me about, you know, the cravings and how it was day to day. I wish I would have listened.
But what is it like the cravings?
In a lot of ways, I think meth is worse than heroin because it's not the physical withdrawal. It's all in your head. Like, I've seen somebody lie to themselves and fully believe that lie. Because that's their reality now. It's scary. Because what meth does is it amplifies your dopamine receptors. They're firing at 500 times what they're supposed to be. And when you go to get off of it, your receptors are fried. So you don't feel happy. You're just miserable and severely depressed and no energy. It's like trying to walk up this little hill right here. You're out of breath and ready to go back to bed. And that can take months to correct. Your dopamine receptors, just from 1 month of usage, can take up to 2 years to fix. It fucks your head up really bad. The one thing I think is funny though is, you know, you see meth mouth and all that. That's not actually caused from the drug. It's caused from dehydration.
Really?
And not taking care of yourself. Is dehydration will make, you know, it'll make your teeth rot. The weight loss is it's not permanent, because as soon as you come off the drug, all of that weight comes back. It doesn't matter how long you've had it off. You're going to go back to the weight you were when you started.
Really? Is that when when you were struggling with weight, was it because of meth?
When I came to Atlanta, I was 180 pounds.
180?
A lot bigger than I am now. Maybe $110 now. And that's actually me gaining a little bit of weight. I actually dropped down to below 100 at one point.
What's your favorite childhood memory?
First time I rode a horse.
Really?
Yeah.
What was that like?
Okay. My dad's friends, his cousin owned a stable, and I've been looking forward to going there all week. And this particular day, they're like, well, I don't know, we probably can't do it today. So I was carrying around this stuffed horse all day, depressed, and they finally called his cousin up, and she's like, look, this little girl is carrying around a stuffed horse. Can we please bring her over? And I ended up riding this painted barrel racer. Her name was Hope. She was a couple months pregnant at the time. A little temperamental. She scared me. She knew I was a new rider, so she thought, well, I'll take the rein. So she had me trying to go around trees for a little while. And me being a beginner rider, I don't know how to barrel race.
What's your favorite book or movie you've ever seen or watched?
My favorite book series is the Green Rider series by Christine Britton.
Oh, what's it about?
It's about a girl that runs away from school. And she runs into a king's messenger that's dying on this path. And he gives her a message and tells her, take it to the king. Don't let anybody stop you. And she goes on one hell of a journey after that. It's filled with magic and adventure, love. It's a really good book. I recommend
really cool.
it.
I think that's about everything. I don't know if you want to say anything else. Do you have any story you want to share or anything?
The only thing I really tell everybody that I meet is if you've never been out here, if you've never been on drugs, take it from somebody that does. Don't. Please stay off of it. Because it's fun in the beginning, and then you do it just to feel normal. It's not living.